Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hindi ebook before it's gone.
नमस्ते, हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। Hi, my name is Prerna. Nice to meet you. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Hindi. In this series, we're going to learn basic Hindi expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Hindi. There are only 2 sentences you need to know. नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। Hi, my name is Prerna. Nice to meet you. Start by saying Namaste. Then say मेरा नाम, then your name, and then say है. Please repeat after me. Namaste. मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. Finally, say आप से मिलकर खुशी हुई. Together we have Namaste. मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. Let's take a closer look at the first sentence. The first word is Namaste. Namaste in Hindi is equivalent to hello, which can be used at any time of the day. Next is Mera. The word Mera means my. This is a way to refer to yourself, which can be used by both men and women. Next, we have Naam. The word Naam means name. Then you say your name. And finally, we have hai. Hai is attached to the end of the sentence and literally means to exist. In the first sentence, we have the construction Mera plus Naam plus your name plus hai. The structure of simple Hindi sentences is different from English. In Hindi, the word order is subject, object, verb. The second sentence we have is आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई can be used by both men and women. It means nice to meet you. It's used when meeting someone for the first time. आप से मिलकर खुशी हुई. आप से मिलकर खुशी हुई. Now it's time for Prerna's points. Indian people don't generally shake hands. You're better off using the Namaste gesture. However, in a business situation, you might want to use a handshake. Shaking hands is more common in big cities where Western customs are more familiar. Do you know how we say thank you in Hindi? You will learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. फिर मिलेंगे. See you then.
नमस्ते, हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है।
Namaste, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Hindi. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners when we thank people. क्या आप तैयार हैं? Are you ready? तो चलिए शुरू करें. So let's begin. There are several ways to thank someone, but let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad means thank you. You can emphasize Dhanyavad by adding bahut, which means very much. So it becomes bahut dhanyavad. Bahut dhanyavad. In Hindi, there are other ways to express one's gratitude. Dhanyavad comes from Sanskrit and it sounds quite formal. That's why some people prefer to use Urdu expressions, which are felt to be more colloquial. A more colloquial expression for thank you in Hindi is shukriya. Shukriya can also be preceded by bahut, which means very much. बहुत शुक्रिया. बहुत शुक्रिया. So, now you have learned how to say thank you in Hindi. But how will you reply if someone else says thank you to you? In Hindi, your welcome is sometimes expressed as swagat hai. The expression swagat hai means welcome. Swagat hai. You can also respond to someone who has thanked you by using another expression. This is koi baat nahi, which literally means it's nothing. Koi baat nahi. So, when someone says dhanyavad to you, you can simply reply with swagat hai or koi baat nahi. Now it's time for Prerna's points. Just as with the expressions for thank you and please, Indians do not always use you're welcome in everyday situations. It's a concept literally translated from English. Native speakers often show politeness simply by using polite pronouns and verb forms while speaking. Do you know what "fir milenge" means? In our next lesson, you'll learn this and other greetings in Hindi. Shukriya or "fir milenge."
नमस्ते. हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है.
Namaste. मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned how to show gratitude to people by saying dhanyavad. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in India. क्या आप तैयार हैं? Are you ready? तो चलिए शुरू करें. So, let's begin. Let's start with a greeting you're sure to have heard before. Namaste. This is a word that is so closely associated with India and Indian culture that it has become famous all over the world. Namaste. Namaste. The word namaste is made out of two Sanskrit words, nama and te, which have been joined to mean I salute you. We use namaste as a formal as well as a friendly greeting. It's used when people meet at any time of the day, morning, noon or evening. A slightly more formal variation on namaste, which you may or may not have heard before, is namaskar. Namaskar. Use this and you'll surely impress your Indian friends. In Hindi, using different greetings for each time of the day is not very common. When talking with friends, we usually just use the English phrases. But there are equivalent Hindi versions. They're just not used that often. If you meet someone before noon, you can say Suprabhat. Suprabhat. For later in the day, you can say Shubh Sandhya. Shubh Sandhya. But for most of the time, you can just say Namaste and not worry about it. As we learned in this lesson, Namaste can mean both hello and goodbye. However, this is not the only way of saying goodbye in Hindi. A parting expression that we can use for all occasions is "fir milenge," which means see you. Fir milenge. Fir milenge. The first word fir means again, and the second word milenge means we will meet. Let's look at one more expression, alvida. Alvida is an Urdu word which means goodbye. Alvida. It is an appropriate choice when parting for a long time. Now, it's time for Prerna's points. The easiest way of saying your goodbyes in Hindi is by using namaste. Take a slight bow with folded hands and say namaste. Namaste and namaskar both come from Sanskrit and mean something like I honor you or I bow to you. In the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Hindi in 3 minutes lesson. फिर मिलेंगे.
नमस्ते. हिंदी hindipod101.com में स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greeting in Hindi. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we are going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Hindi, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you are saying, even if their answer is no. Let's start with a formal expression. First, though, we need to make a note that in Hindi, verbs change depending on the number and gender of the noun. So, when asking a man if he speaks English, you would say, क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? But to ask a woman if she speaks English, you'd say, क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलती हैं? क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलती हैं? Let's have a closer look at this sentence by breaking it down. क्या? Kya is a question marker which comes at the beginning of the sentence. Next is aap. Aap means you. This is the respectful word for you and is used in formal situations. You should always use it with people you don't know or with elders. Next we have Angrezi. Angrezi means English. Next is bolte. Bolte means to speak. It is used when the subject is masculine. Use bolti when the subject is feminine. And finally, hai. Hai is the sentence ending particle used with the formal you. Once more, for a man, it's क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? And for women, क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलती हैं? क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलती हैं? We are now going to make this sentence informal. First, we need to use the informal version of you, which is tum. If we change the word for you, we will also change the sentence ending particle to ho. Everything else stays the same. When speaking to younger people, it's acceptable to use the informal form. In which case, you will say, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलते हो? To ask a young man or a boy. Or, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलती हो? To ask a young woman or a girl. Again, for a boy, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलते हो? And for a girl, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलती हो? The responses you will receive could be one of these three. हाँ, yes, हाँ, थोड़ी बहुत, a little, थोड़ी बहुत, नहीं, no I don't, नहीं. Now, let's review one more time. To ask a man in a formal situation if he knows English, we would say, क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? To ask a woman in a formal situation if she knows English, we would say, क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलती हैं? To ask a man in an informal situation if he knows English, we would say, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलते हो? To ask a woman in an informal situation if she knows English, we would say, क्या तुम अंग्रेजी बोलती हो? Now it's time for Prerna's points. India was once, for a long time, part of the British Empire. And so today, English is one of the national languages of India. When visiting tourist areas, you're sure to meet many people who can communicate with you in English. Still, a large part of the population can't understand English. And you can never go wrong if you learn the local language. How do you say, I'm sorry, in Hindi? In the next lesson, we'll learn ways to apologize. It's never too late to show your good manners with Indian people. I'll see you in our next lesson. फिर मिलेंगे.
नमस्ते, HindiPod101.com में स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? Do you speak English? In this lesson, we are going to learn how to apologize in Hindi. There are a number of ways to apologize, but in a formal situation, you should use माफ कीजिए. माफ कीजिए. The first word, maaf, literally means forgive, and कीजिए is a polite form of the verb meaning please do. Thus, this expression actually means something like forgive me, please. Now let's hear it again. माफ कीजिए. You use माफ कीजिए when you might have said or done something offensive, wrong, or embarrassing. Sometimes you'll also hear people say क्षमा कीजिए. क्षमा कीजिए. This means please excuse me or I'm sorry. In Hindi, we have many synonyms for a single expression, usually a more colloquial Urdu form and a Sanskrit form, which is used in more formal situations. This is the case with I'm sorry as well. Maaf kijiye is the Urdu form and the corresponding Sanskrit form in Hindi is Kshama kijiye. The informal way to say I'm sorry is maaf karo. Maaf karo. Similarly, we could also say Kshama karo. Kshama karo. Let's review. Maaf kijiye or Kshama kijiye is a formal I'm sorry or excuse me. Maaf karo or Kshama karo is the informal I'm sorry or excuse me. These are all versatile phrases with a few different meanings depending on the situation. Whether you are trying to get someone's attention for a question, or making your way through a crowded area, or apologizing for stepping on someone's foot, these are all phrases you could use. Now, what if someone says maaf kijiye or kshama kijiye to you after having done something wrong? How would you respond? In this case, you could say कोई बात नहीं. कोई बात नहीं. This means something like it doesn't matter. कोई बात नहीं. Now it's time for Prerna's points. If someone bumps into you on the streets in India, don't expect an excuse me, especially in the big cities. Big crowds are very common and so is bumping into each other. Indians are usually very friendly people, but this does not seem like something worthy of an apology. Unless someone pushes you over so hard you fall on the ground, keep walking. Are you able to count in Hindi? In the next lesson, we will learn the numbers in Hindi from 1 to 10. I'll be waiting for you in our next lesson. Shukriya और फिर मिलेंगे.
नमस्ते. हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and the most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned some words used when apologizing in Hindi, including maaf kijiye and kshama kijiye. In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Hindi. Yes, numbers, sankhyaएं, from 1 to 10, and you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes. 3 minute. Are you ready? Let's start. एक, एक, दो, दो, तीन, तीन, चार, चार, पाँच, पाँच, छः, छः, सात, सात, आठ, आठ, नौ, नौ, दस, दस. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. एक, दो, तीन, चार, पाँच, छः, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. What is before ek? Do you know? It's of course 0, which in Hindi is shunya. Shunya. You don't have any more excuses. You can give your friends your cell phone number in Hindi. Let's try together. We'll use the phrase mera phone number, then your number, and then hai, which means my number is and your number. Mera phone number hai. Mera phone number 9025572248 hai. Can you read it by yourself? 9025572248. Perfect. Now it's time for Prerna's points. Did you know that in Hindi, numbers have their own Devanagari script? Yes, that's right. They don't look like the numbers we're used to seeing in the Western world. But actually, they're quite similar because the Western numeral system is the modified version of the Hindi numeral system. So, with just a little more effort, you can not only say the numbers in Hindi, you'll be able to read them as well. Do you know the Hindi word for 100? In the next lesson, we are going to learn the numbers from 10 to 100 in Hindi. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson from 1 to 10. फिर मिलेंगे. See you then.
नमस्ते, हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। Hi, my name is Prerna. Nice to meet you. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned the numbers from 1 to 10. Have you forgotten? Here I'll tell you again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And now let's continue from 11. 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, and finally we have 20, 20. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hindi numbers from 1 to 100 are quite irregular with no definite pattern. So the only way to learn them is to memorize them. It might seem daunting at first, but you'll soon recognize a rough pattern. Let's get started with the tens. 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, 100, 100. While you have to memorize many of the numbers, there is a trick that will make memorizing them incredibly easy. Notice that 30 is 30 and 40 is 40. Do you remember what 3 and 4 are in Hindi? Well, let me remind you. 3 is 3 and 4 is 4. As you can see, the sound T of teen, which is 3, is used in 30 or 30. Teen, तीस. Similarly, the sound cha in char, which is 4, is used in 40 or 40. Char, चालीस. 5 in Hindi is पाँच, while 50 is पचास. The common sound is pa. However, this does not apply to all numbers. 60 in Hindi is 60, while 6 is 6. As you can see, there is no common sound. 6, 60. The last thing to learn in this lesson is how to form compound numbers above 20. You already know that the number patterns in Hindi are quite irregular. So you might be wondering if you have to memorize each and every compound number. The answer is yes, you do. However, we are going to make your life a bit easier with our brilliant tip. For any numbers between 20 and 99, you read a variation of the number in the ones followed by the number in the tens. Let's try it out. How would you say 34 in Hindi? You first say a variation of 4 followed by a variation of 30. So 34 is literally read as 430, which is 34. Here, chaun is a variation of the number 4 or char and 30 is 30. 34. 61 is 61, which is literally read as 160. Ik is a variation of ek for 1, while sat is a variation of sat for 60. Iksat. Let's look at one more number, 95. In Hindi, it's panchanave, which is literally read as 590. Pancha is a variation of panch for 5, and nave is a variation of nabbe for 90. Panchanave. After only 2 lessons, you're now able to count to 100 in Hindi. In the next lesson, we are going to put your number knowledge to use. Do you have all the skills you need to go shopping in India? If not, I'll be waiting for you in our next Hindi in 3 minutes lesson. फिर मिलेंगे. See you then.
नमस्ते हिंदी पॉड 101.com में स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। Hi, my name is Prerna. Nice to meet you. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned how to count in Hindi. I hope you spent some time practicing the numbers because they'll come in handy today. We're going to learn how to go shopping in India. Before we go, you need to know how to say how much is this? इसका भाव क्या है? इसका भाव क्या है? Are you ready to go shopping in India? Let's go. You see something you like and want to ask the shopkeeper how much it costs. The first thing to say to a shopkeeper is माफ कीजिए. Do you remember what that means? Excuse me. माफ कीजिए, इसका भाव क्या है? माफ कीजिए, इसका भाव क्या है? If we want to be more specific when asking how much is this and refer to a certain type of object, we just need to insert the object in between the word iska, between is and ka. Let's see an example. Suppose you want to buy a hat in the market. Hat in Hindi is topi. So, how much is this hat? इस टोपी का भाव क्या है? इस टोपी का भाव क्या है? But what if you want to buy several hats? Then you'd have to use a new word, inka, which means these. Excuse me, how much are these? In Hindi is माफ कीजिए, इनका भाव क्या है? माफ कीजिए, इनका भाव क्या है? At this point, the shopkeeper can answer by saying इसका दाम plus the cost plus है, or ये plus the cost plus का plus है. For example, इसका दाम 50 रुपए है, और ये 50 रुपए का है. What number is 50? I'm not telling you. Okay, it's 50. It costs 50 rupees. Now it's time for Prerna's points. Another very common way of asking how much is it is ye kitne ka hai? And if you want to be more specific and mention the thing you want to know the price of, all you need to do is insert the object after ye. Ye save kitne ka hai? Which means how much is this apple? At this point, can you count rupees in Hindi? We are going to learn how to do this and much more in the next lesson. I'll be waiting for you in our next Hindi in 3 minutes lesson. फिर मिलेंगे. See you then.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus. In this series, you will learn everything you need to know to get started learning Hindi.
That's right, and we're here to help guide you through your journey. In this lesson, you'll learn the reasons why you should start learning a new language, why you should specifically learn Hindi, and how to get started. There are countless reasons, but perhaps the biggest one of all is that it could actually change your life. Learning a new language unlocks new pathways that are off limits to you now. There are certain things that you simply cannot do without having the technical or cultural skills that come from learning a new language.
Like working or living in another country.
Knowing another language provides you with greater job opportunities. You have the freedom to move to another country halfway around the world and earn a living, or better yet, build a career from it, instead of just being stuck in one place. Language allows you to visit or live in places that you may never have even considered going. Knowing another language simply gives you more options to choose from.
And learning a new language also helps you to be more open-minded and see the world from a new perspective.
Language and culture go hand in hand. The world is a big place, and by broadening your understanding of other cultures, it allows you to be more empathetic and understanding of the many different ways that people live their lives. With language, you're able to see and experience more, which helps you grow as a person.
Learning a new language also improves your memory.
Studies have consistently shown that those who study another language have improved memory as opposed to those who didn't. Learning another language also keeps your brain healthy by significantly delaying the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia. This difference can mean as much as 4 to 5 more years of quality life.
And those are just some of the reasons you should learn another language. The list just goes on and on.
Now you know the benefits of studying another language, but why should you learn Hindi in particular?
If your next holiday destination is India, learning a little bit of Hindi can be quite handy.
Yes, Hindi is the main language of India, and if you're planning to travel to the country for pleasure or business purposes, a little bit of knowledge of the language can help make things easier for you. India is a country known for its wildlife, its art, its monuments, and its rich culture and traditions.
And don't forget the delicious food.
Yes, you can enjoy a variety of cuisines as you travel from one region to another.
And don't assume that just because India has a large number of English speakers, you will be able to move around in the country with no knowledge of Hindi.
You're absolutely right. Recent surveys have indicated that India has the second largest number of English speakers in the world, second to only the United States of America. But the percentage of English speakers is still quite low, at just 12%. This means while you'll encounter many people who can easily have a conversation with you in English, you will require some knowledge of Hindi while taking a taxi or an auto rickshaw or a bus. The knowledge of Hindi will also help you when you want to bargain and get the best possible price for the gorgeous saris and stoles or the beautiful artifacts.
It could also help you handle an emergency situation easily.
Definitely. Hopefully you won't have an emergency, but it is always a good idea to be prepared. If you know the language, you'll be able to interact more easily with the locals. Indians open their hearts and their homes to every visitor.
Atithi Devo Bhava.
That means guests are like God, and large-hearted Indians are known to welcome every guest with delicious foods and drinks, and so much love that you can't help but leave their homes with an experience to remember for a lifetime. So if India attracts you, get started by learning Hindi. But how can you actually do that?
It is best to start with a few Hindi words and then build up from there.
To begin with, there are many English words that are commonly used in India and by Hindi-speaking natives.
Yes, for example, you will see the people are likely to use the English please rather than the Hindi kripaya in spoken language.
Yes, but in written language, the Hindi word is used and not the English word. But we don't have to worry about the written script as of now. To begin with, we will be using romanization to learn a few Hindi words. Can you give us more examples of English words that are commonly used and understood in Hindi-speaking areas of India?
Yes, natives will easily understand a thank you or a good boy or a good morning and good evening.
Or even a train or a bus.
Or even an office or computer or help or welcome.
So that makes things a lot easier for a traveler. But let's get started with some Hindi words that you can easily learn. Let's begin with a greeting.
Sure, like we said, you could easily say a hello, but you will love the smile on your host's face when you greet them with folded hands and say namaste. Namaste.
Now you try.
Fold your hands and say namaste. Namaste. You can also use namaste to say goodbye.
Oh, that's so useful. What about thank you in Hindi?
You say dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
Now you try.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
So, how about we do a summary of the 3 words we learned in Hindi?
Hello is namaste. Thank you is dhanyavad. And goodbye is namaste.
We also learned the Hindi word for please, although we may not use it while speaking the language.
Please is kripaya.
We learned a lot of things about India and Hindi in this lesson. We learned how learning a new language can help you expand your horizons and meet new people. It can help make travel and business easier for you when in India. We also learned that there are a few English words we can use with the natives too. Of course, we also learned how to say hello and thank you in Hindi. We also learned the Hindi word for please, although we know that we should be using the Hindi word for please only in written language and not in spoken language. In the next lesson, we're going to learn a few things about Hindi pronunciation, so don't forget to join us. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyavad and namaste.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I am Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi pronunciation.
Just like English, Hindi also has consonants and vowels.
Hindi has 33 main consonants and 11 vowels. If you learn the sounds of these consonants and vowels, you'll be able to pronounce every single word in Hindi.
There are also 2 additional consonants and 2 additional vowels, as well as few conjuncts, but you don't have to worry about them right now.
Yes, because once you're comfortable with the 33 main consonants and the 11 vowels, the rest will come pretty easily.
It may seem like a difficult task, but actually you already know many of these sounds in English.
So, how about we first take a look at some of the consonants in Hindi?
Yes, let's begin with some unaspirated consonants along with their aspirated counterparts.
We won't be working on the consonants in the order they occur in the Hindi alphabet system, simply because some of them are more commonly used than others. We'll take a look at these in order when we get to the lesson on writing.
Hindi consonants are known as Vyanjan.
Yes, you're already familiar with many of them because the sounds already exist in English or are quite similar to certain sounds in English.
For example, the first consonant in Hindi is K, which is similar to the English letter K.
But the next one doesn't exist in English.
Yes, this one is K. When you say it without aspiration, you get K. But when you say it with aspiration, it becomes K.
Interesting. But let me first explain what aspirated and unaspirated sounds are. In very simple words, we can say that aspirated sounds are spoken with a burst of air, and an unaspirated sound isn't.
For example, the sound of the letter H in the English word hat. Saying this sound involves a forceful expulsion of air. Try it yourself. Ha.
Ha!
In Hindi, when you say K, there is no forceful expulsion of air. But when you say K, you will feel yourself expelling the air from your mouth. Try it yourself and see the difference. K, K. Next, let's take a look at G, which is the same as the sound of the letter G in the English word game. Yes, when you say G without aspiration, you get G. But when you say it with aspiration, you get G.
Yes, that's the next consonant. It works the same way for some other consonants too.
Yes, like ch is the same as the ch in the English word chain without aspiration. When you say ch with aspiration, it becomes ch. Similarly, we have j and jh, t and th, d and dh, t and th, d and dh, p and p, b and bh.
But what about the other consonants?
Definitely, that doesn't complete our list of consonant sounds. Now, let's take a look at some of the other consonants and how they sound. Let's first take a look at the consonant H. It sounds like the letter H in the English word hug. We also have Y, which is like the sound of the letter Y in the English word yak.
There are two letters that sound like the SH in the English word share.
Yes, these are sh and sh. They sound the same when spoken. We will use the small letter s to denote them both from now on. We also have a sound that is similar to the English letter s, like in the word sun. This is s. This one is s, and we will use the capital S from now on when we refer to it.
Okay, what's next?
We also have N. N is just the sound of the English letter N. R is the same as the sound of the letter R in rat. L is the same as the sound of the letter L in lamb. M is the same as the sound of the letter M in marsh. V is the same as the sound of the letter W in work.
Are there any other consonants in Hindi that we haven't discussed?
We also have N.
This may seem to be a difficult sound as it doesn't exist in English.
Just try saying N, but roll back your tongue slightly. N.
But aren't we still missing two consonants?
Yes, we are. We also have N and N. But we don't have to worry much about them since they aren't used alone ever.
So now that we've taken a look at the consonants, how about we take a quick look at the vowels too?
The Hindi vowels are known as swar.
There are 11 main vowels in Hindi, and most of them are the same as in English.
For example, A is like the sound of the letter A in the English word apply. A is like the sound of the letter A in the word father. E is like the letter I in tin. E is like the letters E in C. Then we have U, which is like the letter U in put. And U is like the sound of the letters OO in room. A is like the A in May. A is like the sound of the letter A in hat. We also have O and OW. O sounds like the O in box and O sounds like the letters AW in sa. We also have another vowel which is RI, something like the RI in riddle. We actually learned a word in the last lesson which uses RI, kripaya, which means please.
Indeed. So, how are vowels used in Hindi?
Hindi vowels can be used alone or in the form of a matra or vowel signs where it modifies a consonant. A good example where both the forms can be used in a single word is the Hindi word acha, meaning good or okay. Acha. The first letter A is a standalone form of the vowel a. Cha. But if you see the matra at the end, after the letter ch, the vowel a here is modifying the consonant ch. This means that the sound now becomes ch plus a, cha. Let's see how the vowels modify the consonant k. It can become ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
That's a lot that we learned about the sounds in Hindi.
It may seem as too much to learn in the beginning, but as you continue to practice, things will get easier.
True. The best thing to do is practice, practice, and practice. In this lesson, we learned that in Hindi there are 33 consonants and 11 vowels.
Consonants are called vyanjan in Hindi and vowels are called swar.
The vowels have a standalone version, and when they're attached to a consonant, they modify its sound.
So, in the word acha, the first a is a standalone form of the vowel a, but the last vowel a appears in the form of a modifier and turns ch into cha.
Among the consonants, we realized that there are forms that are already present in English. When we say these consonants without aspiration, we get one consonant. When we say them with aspiration, we get another consonant, which generally doesn't exist in English.
For example, k is a consonant, and when we say it with aspiration, it becomes another consonant kh.
We just learned the basics of pronunciation in Hindi in this lesson, and in the next lesson, we'll learn the basics of Hindi grammar. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyawad and namaste.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi grammar.
Did you know that Hindi doesn't use articles?
Really? That means you don't have to worry about where to put a, and where to add an, and where to use the?
Yes. Doesn't that make things easier?
It definitely does. What about gender? How is it indicated in Hindi?
Firstly, there is no he or she in Hindi. You can use the same pronoun for both genders.
Great!
But the verbs do change depending on the gender of the person speaking and the gender of the person you are speaking to.
Oh, that is quite complicated.
Not really. It is usually quite simple. If a verb uses e at the end, it means it is feminine. But if it uses a at the end, it means it is masculine. We will go through a few examples later in this lesson to find out just how easy it is.
Also, in Hindi, there is no neutral gender. Every object is either masculine or feminine.
Yes, so an auto rickshaw is masculine and a bus is feminine.
But there isn't a need to worry about getting the gender of all objects correct in the beginning. This is something you'll catch on to as you go on learning Hindi. How about we look at an example of verbs and how they change based on gender? Let's begin with the verb to do.
Sure. In Hindi, to do is karna. If you are female, you would say karti. And if you are male, you would say karta. So, the last vowel changes. It is E for females and A for males. Yes, the same goes when you address someone. If they are female, use E at the end of the verb. And if they are male, use A at the end.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about articles, we don't have to worry about pronouns being gender-based, but we have to be concerned about verbs being based on gender?
Yes, that's right.
How about we go on and take a look at some personal pronouns now?
In Hindi, the first person singular pronoun is main.
And it doesn't matter whether you're female or male. You can use the same pronoun.
Yes, the first person plural pronoun is hum.
While there's only one first-person singular pronoun in Hindi, there are 3 second-person singular pronouns, right?
Yes, they are tu, tum and aap. Tu is used in a very informal way, something you will use with a very close friend. Tum is also informal, but not as much as tu. It is something you may want to use with a friend, a close colleague, your kids, your siblings, or even your spouse. But aap is the formal form of address. It is something that you would like to use at your office while addressing your parents, strangers, or your elders. The interesting thing is that you can use tum and aap as the second person plural too. But generally, a word like all or people is added to tum and aap to make the second person plural. So, you could say tum log or aap log, where log means people. Or you could say tum sab or aap sab, where sab means all.
Good. So we learned 2 more words here, for people and all.
Yes, log means people and sab means all. Let's check the third person singular now. For he, she, it, this, we use ye. And for he, she, it, that, we use veh. The plural will be ye for these and veh for those.
So, how about we try and make some sentences now?
Sure, we can. But before we actually go on to forming sentences, we will need to know a little more about the various forms of the verb to be.
Of course, to be is an important verb not only in Hindi but also in English. Without knowing about how to use it, it's very difficult to form sentences. Imagine having no am, are, were, was, have, or has in English. There would be no sentences. So, what is to be in Hindi?
It is hona.
How would we say I am in Hindi?
For I am, hona changes to hu. Main hu. We are becomes hum. Hum hai. Where hona changes to hai. With tum, you use hai. And tum, you use ho. And with aap, you use hai.
That means the to be form is the same for plural and for respectful address.
Yes, it is hai.
Does it change depending on whether a man speaks or a woman?
No, it doesn't. We have 3 versions of hona, and these are hu, hai, hai.
Great! So now we can make a sentence.
Definitely.
How would you say, I am Alicia?
That would be मैं Alicia हूँ. So, the order of the words is I, Alicia, am, or pronoun, noun, verb.
That means, unlike English, The noun comes before the verb in Hindi.
Yes, indeed.
Let's try out a few more sentences. How about I am good? How would we say that in Hindi?
मैं अच्छा हूँ if you are male. मैं अच्छी हूँ if you are female. Did you notice how for males the word good becomes अच्छा and for females it becomes अच्छी?
Yes, indeed. What about the plural version of the Hindi word for good?
That would be अच्छे. This would also be used if you are using a respectful address for a male. आप अच्छे हैं. Generally, the respectful form when addressing males is the same as the plural version.
That makes things quite simple. But good is an adjective. Does that mean that all adjectives also change depending on the gender?
Not always, but sometimes they do. You will pick this up as you practice the language more and more.
Okay, but what about past tense?
Was becomes था or थे or थी.
So, how would you say, how are you?
आप कैसे हैं और आप कैसी हैं.
And how would you answer that?
मैं अच्छा हूँ if you are male और मैं अच्छी हूँ if you are female.
Wow, we learned a lot about Hindi grammar today. Let's recap what we've learned in this lesson. In this lesson, we learned that there are no articles in Hindi. The pronouns are not gender-based, but the verbs are never neutral. They're always masculine or feminine. We also learned that you can use 3 variations of the word you, depending on whether you want to use a formal, informal, or a little more informal version. We also learned how the verb to be changes depending on whether the sentence is singular, plural, formal, or informal. And of course, we also learned how to say, how are you? And how to answer this very important question. We just learned the basics of Hindi grammar. In the next lesson, we'll learn the basics of Hindi writing. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
धन्यवाद and namaste.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi writing.
To begin with, Hindi is written in Devanagari script.
Is it written from right to left or left to right?
Hindi is written from left to right, just like English. There is another interesting thing about Hindi, which is different from English.
What is that?
Hindi is a phonetic language. This means that it is written as it is spoken. In English, some of the spellings can be quite confusing for a learner. For example, the sound of the letter C in city is the same as the sound of the letter S in sit. At the same time, the sound of the letter C in city is different from the sound of the letter C in cup.
For someone who knows English, this isn't a difficult thing. But if you're learning the language, this can be confusing indeed while reading and writing.
But in Hindi, you don't have to worry about these things. If the sound is ka, you write k. If the sound is ku, you write ku.
This makes it quite easy to learn the script, doesn't it?
Yes, once you know the consonant and vowels, you can easily begin to read the script.
What about the punctuation marks? Are they different from English?
In Hindi, we use the same punctuation marks as in English. This means you use the same commas and question marks. So, nothing to worry about. However, the Hindi full stop is different from the English full stop.
Really? How do we make the Hindi full stop?
It appears like a vertical or standing line at the end of the sentence and is called a Purna Viram. Take this sentence, for example, written in Hindi script, मैं ठीक हूँ. Notice the vertical line at the end of the sentence. This is the Hindi full stop.
This one seems quite easy to make too.
Yes, indeed.
So, how about we go on to how the Hindi alphabets are written? In a previous lesson, we learned that Hindi has 33 consonants and 11 vowels.
You are absolutely correct. And we also learned most of the consonants during our pronunciation lesson.
How about we take a quick look at them and then go on to see how vowels modify the sounds of these consonants?
Sure. Here they are. K, kh, g, gh, n, ch, ch, j, jh, n, t, th, d, d, n, t, th, d, th, n, p, ph, b, bh, m, y, r, l, v, sh, ksh, s, h.
Okay, great. The best way to learn the script is to practice reading and writing it as much as you can.
Yes, indeed.
So, how do vowels generally appear in Hindi script?
Let's start with how they are written individually. Here they are. A, I, U, U, E, O, Ri.
How do they appear when they're attached to a consonant?
Let's take a few words that use these vowels in the form of matras. Work, calm. See the vertical line between the letters K and M? This is the vowel A and is called A ki matra or matra of A. Whenever you notice this vertical line added to a consonant, you add the vowel A to that consonant. So, K becomes Ka. Let's try another. How much? Kitna? See this matra on the letter K? That is called choti e ki matra or E or matra of the small E. Whenever you see this matra on a consonant, add the vowel sound to the consonant and say it. So, K becomes Ki. Let's look at another word. Cat, Billy. See this matra on the letter L? This is called the badi E ki matra or E or matra of the big E. Here, L becomes Li. Here's another word. Dog, Kutta. Notice this matra on the letter K. This is the choti U ki matra or U or matra of the small U. This matra makes K, Ku. Let's now look at shoe, Juta. This matra below the letter J is the badi U ki matra or U or matra of the big U. This matra makes J, Ju. Now let's take apple, Seb. The matra above the letter S is called the choti A ki matra or A or matra of the small A. This matra changes S to Se. Let's now take the word for money. Money, paisa. The matra above the letter P is called the badi A ki matra or A or matra of the big A. This changes P to Pa. Now, let's take a look at O and Au. Gold, Sona. The matra on the letter S is called the chote O ki matra or O or matra of the small O. This matra changes S to So. Who, Kon. The matra on the letter K is called the badi U ki matra or O or matra of the big O. This matra modifies the sound of K to Ko. The vowel Ri appears slightly differently. Let's take a word we learnt in the first lesson. Please, Kripya. This matra below the letter K is called the Ri ki matra or the matra of Ri.
What else is there that we should know about the Hindi script?
There are two more things you will often notice in the Hindi script, and that's called the Anuswar and the Chandrabindu.
What does that look like?
The Anuswar appears as a dot, and the Chandrabindu is the moon dot. Notice the small dot along with the vowel A in मैं or I. This is the Anuswar, and when it occurs at the end of the word, it nasalizes the vowel. When the dot appears before a letter in the middle of the word, it nasalizes the sound of that consonant. Let's check out the word for color, rang. Here the Anuswar makes it sound like the NG in the English word song. The Chandrabindu is no different than the Anuswar, and it works very similarly to it by nasalizing the vowel above which it is placed. For example, clocks, ghadiyan. Here, the Chandrabindu can be seen above the last vowel, A.
In this lesson, we learned how the Hindi full stop appears, and we also came to know that Hindi is a phonetic language and is spoken exactly as it's written. That makes things quite easy. We also learned how the consonants look and how the vowels look individually when they're attached to a consonant, and how their nasalized versions appear in written Hindi. We just learned the basics of Hindi writing. In the next lesson, we'll teach you some basic phrases in Hindi. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyawad and Namaste.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I am Venus.
In this lesson, we'll focus on teaching you the most useful Hindi words and phrases for absolute beginners.
Make sure you're repeating the words out loud after I say the examples.
Are you ready? Let's get started. The best phrase to learn when studying a new language is one that expresses gratitude and appreciation. If you had to learn only a single phrase, this would be it.
We taught you this phrase in the first lesson of this series. Do you remember what it was?
It's...
Dhanyavad.
Repeat it.
Dhanyavad.
Once more.
Dhanyavad.
Okay, but how about if we want to say, thank you very much?
Then you would say, Aapka bahut dhanyavad. Let me break this down for you. Aapka, here. Bahut, very. Dhanyavad, thanks. Aapka bahut dhanyavad. You can even say, Aapka bahut bahut dhanyavad.
The next phrase we'll teach you is perhaps the second most useful phrase of all. It's to apologize or excuse yourself.
Firstly, Indians often use the English word sorry in their spoken language.
That's quite a useful bit of information for someone who's traveling to India.
Yes, indeed. So, you can easily use that word too. But here is the Hindi version of sorry. Maaf karna. Maaf karna. You can use this phrase to apologize as well as to excuse yourself. Add the word mujhe and you will get I am sorry.
Repeat after Venus.
Mujhe maaf karna.
Once more.
Mujhe maaf karna.
Try again.
Mujhe maaf karna.
That was quite easy, wasn't it? Let's try both phrases once more. Thank you very much.
आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you very very much. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Okay, now let's try I'm sorry.
For sorry, we use the word माफ करना. माफ करना. माफ करना. मुझे माफ करना. मुझे माफ करना.
Now you can say thank you very much, excuse me, and I'm sorry in Hindi. Let's move on. Asking where something is an incredibly important and useful phrase to learn. You're going to need this when asking where the bathroom, the train station, or where the hotel is. But first, let's find out what the Hindi word for where is.
The Hindi word for where is kahan. Kahan.
How would we say, where is the bathroom in Hindi?
We would say bathroom kahan hai.
You use the English word for bathroom.
Yes, indeed. That's because Indians often use the English word. But you could also learn the Hindi word for bathroom, which is शौचालय.
Let's try this again.
Bathroom कहाँ है? Bathroom कहाँ है? शौचालय कहाँ है? शौचालय कहाँ है? If you notice, the sequence of words here is bathroom, bathroom, where, कहाँ, is, है.
Does that sequence work with most things? For example, asking for the bus or train station?
Yes, just put what you are looking for first, follow it up with kahan, and then add hai.
Okay, let's try this again.
Bathroom kahan hai? Bathroom kahan hai?
How about we learn some of the common words you may need to ask for while moving around in India?
Well, let me first tell you about the English words you can easily use.
That would be great.
Hotel, train station, bus stop, taxi, metro station, museum.
How would you say shop?
Shop is also commonly understood by Indians, but you could ask for dukaan. For example, if you want to ask for a pharmacy, or more commonly known as a chemist shop in India, you could say दवाई की दुकान कहाँ है?
How about we try that again?
दवा की दुकान कहाँ है?
Once more.
दवा की दुकान कहाँ है?
In this lesson, you learned how to say thank you very much, sorry, and I'm sorry. You also learned how to ask where something is.
Throughout this Hindi Introduction Guide series, you learn about the alphabets, the script, the basics of Hindi grammar and pronunciation.
Let's conclude with some parting advice from Venus and listen to some of her tips on how to learn Hindi from a native Hindi perspective.
Whenever you learn a new language, the best way to get better at it is to practice and practice. This applies to Hindi too. One of the best ways to learn spoken Hindi is to watch Hindi movies and TV shows. This helps you learn Hindi words and sentences quickly and easily. Practice pronouncing some of the easier words first, and then you can go on to some of the difficult words as well. Learn to read Hindi by spending time studying some newspapers or magazines written in the language. If you spend just an hour a day or even 30 minutes a day learning Hindi, within a month you can become quite fluent in it.
Good luck as you continue learning Hindi, and we'll see you in another video. Bye!
Dhanyavad and Namaste.
How are your Hindi listening skills? First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
एक लड़का अपनी डायरी से पढ़ रहा है। लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया?
आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा था। मैं दोपहर में पूल में तैरा और फिर शाम को पिक्चर देखने गया। मैंने पूरी सुबह पढ़ाई भी की। आज काफ़ी अच्छा दिन था।
लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया? एक लड़का अपनी डायरी से पढ़ रहा है। लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया?
आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा था। मैं दोपहर में पूल में तैरा और फिर शाम को पिक्चर देखने गया। मैंने पूरी सुबह पढ़ाई भी की। आज काफ़ी अच्छा दिन था।
Did you get it right? I hope you learned something from this quiz. Let us know if you have any questions.
See you next time. Hi everyone, I'm Gabriella. How are your Hindi listening skills? In this video, you'll have a chance to test them out with a quiz. First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
एक आदमी अपनी कंपनी की सेल्स संपादन के बारे में मीटिंग में प्रस्तुति कर रहा है। वह कौन से दो आकृति अपने प्रस्तुति के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहा है?
दिए गए कागज को देखिए। बाएं तरफ की आकृति हमारी कंपनी की पिछले 3 सालों की संपादन और इस साल की सेल्स पूर्वानुमान दिखाती है। दाएं की चार्ट इस साल के अक्टूबर तक की हर महीने की सेल्स दिखाती है। अभी बाईं आकृति की तरफ देखिए। इसके अनुसार सेल पिछले 3 सालों से बढ़ रही है। हम ऐसे ही सेल बढ़ाते रहे तो इस साल की सेल कुल मिलाकर पिछले साल से ज़्यादा होगी। अब दाएं की चार्ट को देखिए। दाएं की आकृति दिखाती है कि हमारे अप्रैल और अगस्त के कैंपेन काफ़ी सफल रहे।
अच्छा, लेकिन मई और सितंबर में कैंपेन के बाद सेल्स कम हो गई।
हाँ, लेकिन इस तरह का पलटाव टाला नहीं जा सकता। मेरा अनुमान है कि इस वर्ष की सेल पिछले साल की तुलना में ज़्यादा होगी अगर हम सेल इसी तरह बढ़ाते रहे।
वह कौन से दो आकृति अपने प्रस्तुति के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहा है? एक आदमी अपनी कंपनी की सेल्स संपादन के बारे में मीटिंग में प्रस्तुति कर रहा है। वह कौन से दो आकृति अपने प्रस्तुति के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहा है?
दिए गए कागज को देखिए। बाएं तरफ की आकृति हमारी कंपनी की पिछले 3 सालों की संपादन और इस साल की सेल्स पूर्वानुमान दिखाती है। दाएं की चार्ट इस साल के अक्टूबर तक की हर महीने की सेल्स दिखाती है। अभी बाईं आकृति की तरफ देखिए। इसके अनुसार सेल पिछले 3 सालों से बढ़ रही है। हम ऐसे ही सेल बढ़ाते रहे तो इस साल की सेल कुल मिलाकर पिछले साल से ज़्यादा होगी। अब दाएं की चार्ट को देखिए। दाएं की आकृति दिखाती है कि हमारे अप्रैल और अगस्त के कैंपेन काफ़ी सफल रहे।
अच्छा, लेकिन मई और सितंबर में कैंपेन के बाद सेल्स कम हो गई।
हाँ, लेकिन इस तरह का पलटाव टाला नहीं जा सकता। मेरा अनुमान है कि इस वर्ष की सेल पिछले साल की तुलना में ज़्यादा होगी अगर हम सेल इसी तरह बढ़ाते रहे।
Did you get it right? I hope you learned something from this quiz. Let us know if you have any questions. See you next time. Hi everyone, welcome to your monthly review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, new study tools, resources, and where we show off learners like you speaking the language. That is, if you're brave enough to become language learning famous. All the materials mentioned in this video are available for you now on our website. Click the link in the description to sign up for your free lifetime account and start speaking in minutes. Okay, today's topic is the 10 habits of highly effective language learners. So, what do successful language learners, people who set language goals and actually hit them, do differently? And are you doing any of these things already? Let's get into it. You'll discover 10 powerful habits and how to apply them. I'll give you specific step-by-step examples. You can use these whether you're learning with our program or any other resource, a textbook, an app, or some audio program. Let's start with the first and most important one. Habit number 1, set small, measurable goals with deadlines. Why small goals? Well, say for example, you set big, vague goals, like I want to be fluent someday, and maybe you buy a textbook, you read the first chapter, then you start wondering if you're getting any better. You start worrying you'll never be fluent, and you give up. If you do this, you need to start setting small, measurable goals. For example, learn 100 words in a month, or speak 1 minute of conversation, or do 30 of our audio lessons in 1 month. Deadline November 30th. Okay, habit number 2, create a routine, because your routine is what will bring your goals to reality. This goes back to the first habit. Again, if you set a goal like doing 30 lessons in 1 month, you need to do 1 lesson a day and spend 15 minutes studying. Now you have a routine to stick to, 1 lesson a day, 15 minutes. Next, decide when and where you'll do it. Why? So you can make time. Make a mental note that this time is language time. And, this is important, say no to other things. Your language goals and dreams take first priority. Next, habit number 3, don't cram. Instead of cramming or forcing yourself to learn for 1 or 5 hours, start small. Cramming may have worked for you with studying for tests, but language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you do 5 hours now, you'll burn yourself out. You'll hate the learning, and that's not good. That's how you fail at your goals and dreams. But if you can do 5 to 15 minutes a day, every day, learning won't be overwhelming, and you'll be successful in the long run. So, how do you create this habit? If you've set your small, measurable goal and routine, you're good to go. Habit number 4, prepare lines and conversations ahead of time. If you're like most language learners, speaking is your weak point. And a lot of the time, it's because you just don't know what to say. You don't have the words in your head. This is where preparation comes in. So imagine you meet a person for the first time. What do you say to each other? Hello, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? If you prepare these questions and answers ahead of time, you then have things to ask and say. So how do you do this? If you're learning on the website, check out our top 25 questions lessons that teach you questions and answers that we use all the time in conversations. For example, what's your name? Where are you from? How old are you? How was your weekend? Another way to prepare is to make a list of questions or phrases you want to say. Then get the translations for those. The point is, if you prepare lines like, my name is, I am from, this weekend I did this, the kind of lines you use all the time, you'll always have something to say. Habit number 5, get into the habit of producing output. So input is taking language in, listening and reading, and output is putting language out, so speaking and writing. The point here is, it's easy to just sit and listen and watch YouTube videos. You can listen to lessons all day long, but listening helps with listening. It won't get you speaking the language. So the easiest ways to produce output are, for speaking, repeat what you hear out loud. That's called shadowing. And for writing, write things out by hand. You can copy out our lesson dialogues or just copy the sentences out of a textbook. Habit number 6, come back and review. And that's because reading something once doesn't mean it'll be in your brain forever. So this is where reviewing comes in. In order to master grammar, words, or phrases, you must go back and review. How do you do this? Spaced repetition flashcards are a great example of this. A lot of language learners use these because with spaced repetition, you get to see words again and again over spaced periods of time, and that improves your memory. Another simple thing you can do is download and save our lessons. Replay them later. Download our dialogue tracks. These give you just the conversation from that lesson, no translations. Make a playlist on your phone and listen as much as possible, just like with songs. Soon, you'll know tons of practical conversations by heart. Next, habit number 7, look for solutions. There's one interesting thing that separates new learners from successful learners. It's how they react when they don't understand something. Because beginners completely rely on the study tools they use, they tend to blame them too. You'll often hear that someone gave up because the textbook was too boring, or it won't help them speak. But if you realize a book won't help you speak, it's not the book's fault, is it? And if you complain that a class doesn't help you speak, but you're not raising your hand at every opportunity either, whose fault is it? So experienced learners look for solutions. Get into the habit of coming up with a solution for your problem. Habit number 8, focus on what you're good at. And you should do this because it's overall motivation. If you're generally better at speaking than writing, then you're more likely to enjoy it, which means you're more likely to continue with it. And that means it's a successful routine. Habit number 9 is don't procrastinate, which is easier said than done. Most of us procrastinate. And a lot of that is a result of overthinking. Let's say you plan on studying today. So you remember, I have to study, I have to study. Now you're ruining it in your head. It becomes something you have to do. It's a hassle now. But if you set a small, measurable goal and have a simple routine, spend 5 minutes, then you know you just need to put in 5 minutes and you're done. So if you want to beat procrastination, make your goals and routines easy. And number 10, remember that learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. So there's no need to do 5-hour cram sessions and burn yourself out. 5 or 10 minutes is good enough. Remembering this is a good habit to have. If you're having a bad day, if you can't remember some grammar, it's not all over. It's just a minor bump in the road. Another thing that helps is considering the resources you use. Sticking with quick 5-minute lessons that are easy to finish will help keep you in the marathon. Now, speaking of lessons and resources, here are this month's new lessons and resources. First, the Ultimate Guide to Learning and Mastering Language ebook. This is a 52-page ebook that covers the learning tactics I just talked about: setting goals, staying motivated, learning faster. If you're interested in learning strategies, be sure to download it. Next, the Sport and Exercise Conversation Cheat Sheet. If you want to talk about sports and fitness in the language you're learning, then you'll love this PDF cheat sheet. And finally, How to Improve Your Speaking Skills. It's another language strategy lesson. To get these free lessons and resources, just click the link in the description below. All right, because this is the very first episode of the monthly review, we're asking you, yes you, to submit a video of yourself speaking the language. Here's the challenge for you. Yes, everyone watching this. Record a 30-second to 1-minute audio or video clip. Introduce yourself in the language. Share your name, where you're from, and why you're studying this language. And you'll win a 3-month Premium Plus subscription. To submit, click on the link in the description. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Then fill out the form, attach the audio or video file, and press submit. We may feature you in next month's episode, so a lot of learners will see you and your progress and will hopefully get inspired to improve and master the language. To submit a recording, click the link in the description and follow the instructions on the page. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about why your worst days are the best days to study. In the meantime, submit your recording if you're brave. Like and share this video and leave a comment to tell us what language learning tactics you'd like us to talk about. See you next time. Bye! Want to master grammar so you can speak properly, express yourself better, and understand more? In this video, I'll show you how to master grammar with our lessons and learning program. Let's begin. Number 1, listen to the lesson conversations and explanations. In every lesson, you learn a conversation. Then, our teachers break down every word and grammar rule. So you're actually learning grammar rules in the context of conversations, and you can easily see how they're used. Once you're done, review the conversation again and again to remember what you've learned. Number 2, read the bonus explanations and tutorials. With the lesson notes, you get extra grammar explanations and examples that are not presented in the lesson. After you're done with the lesson, read the lesson notes for extra review. You can even save them as PDFs so that you can access them anytime. Number 3, leave a comment on the lesson. Once you've learned a grammar point, be sure to use it. Leave a comment in the comments section. Write some example sentences for practice. Our teachers will review your comment and give you feedback. Number 4, unlock even more grammar lessons. If you want to find all of the grammar lessons available, visit our lesson library. Under Category, choose Grammar. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons dedicated to helping you learn and master sentence patterns and grammar points. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to finally learn Hebrew the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1, take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on HebrewPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2, read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the Dialogue Study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3, shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4, use the Dialogue Study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5, use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the Dialogue Study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6, review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7, listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8, review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9, participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10, move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn Hebrew, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. Remember, you can sign up to HebrewPod101.com by clicking on the link in the description. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. I'll see you next time. Bye! Are you feeling confident as a beginner-level language learner? Are you ready to move up to the intermediate level? Here are some tips to help you make that leap and advance your language learning progress. Tip number 1, determine your skill level. It's important to look across your skills in the major language competencies: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. By taking our level assessment test, you can review your skills in each competency and see your strengths and weaknesses. Keep in mind it's normal to be better in some skills than others. Premium Plus users can take our level assessment test and get personalized recommendations and learning pathways based on your results. Once you've figured out which skills need work, it's time to take action. No matter which of your language skills need to be improved, make sure you choose a method that's both effective and fun to help maintain your regular learning routine. Tip number 2, listening. The most effective way to build your listening comprehension is by building a strong vocabulary. The more vocab you master, the easier it will be to understand the context and details of the conversation. Songs in the target language are a key listening tool that will teach you common, everyday vocabulary. By learning and memorizing the lyrics, you're building up your vocabulary. If you really want your listening skills to take off, listen to our podcasts. We have hundreds of hours of audio lessons for you to listen to. Before you know it, you'll be able to understand shows and movies. Tip number 3, speaking. Add speaking elements to your language routine. Try shadowing podcasts, repeating along while you listen. Match the native speaker's pronunciation and intonation. This is a fantastic way to improve your fluency and accuracy. You can also find a partner for conversation exchange. A partner can help correct your mistakes and teach you more natural ways to phrase your ideas. Tip number 4, writing. An easy way to start writing more often is by keeping a one-sentence journal. Write one sentence in a journal every day. It doesn't take a lot of time and is a great habit for beginners to build a routine. You have to be consistent to make improvements. Ask native speakers to correct your writing to improve even faster. You can submit sentences and phrases to your teacher using Premium Plus. Tip number 5, reading. Reading is a skill you can improve by yourself. There's no need to rush. It doesn't matter if you read 1 or 100 pages at a time. What matters is that you understand what you read. Write down new words as you read them to practice later. If there's an audio version, read along with the narrator. It'll help you read at a slightly faster speed than normal. You can use the audio that comes with each of our lessons. Bonus tip, never give up. Where do your language skills currently stand? Where do you want them to be? How do you get there? Whatever your goal is, make it clear and part of your life. You'll reach it if you stay focused and positive. And if you really want your skills to take off, make use of our tools and resources. They're designed to help you get to the next level in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free lifetime account. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds. Click the link in the description and start learning right away. I'll see you there. Bye! Can you really learn a new language all alone? Learning a language without traditional classroom instruction may seem quite daunting at first. What if you run into questions? How do you stay on track and motivated to achieve your goals? Don't worry. Not only is it possible to learn any language without traditional classroom instruction, we have created an advanced and extensive online language learning system to help you do just that. It's designed to help you learn a language on your own and is faster, more convenient, and less expensive than traditional classroom options. Here are 3 reasons to learn a language alone. Number 1, learn at your own pace and on your own schedule. In today's fast-paced world, there isn't always time for traditional classroom instruction. But when you learn alone, you can study anywhere and anytime that suits your schedule best. It makes it far easier to actually reach your goal of learning and mastering the language. Number 2, learning a language on your own can reduce stress and anxiety. In traditional classroom settings, there are pop quizzes, tests, and presentations in front of classmates. While it's valuable to learn public speaking skills and to be able to perform under pressure, for some people, these classroom pressures are a big hurdle for their language learning dreams. Learning alone, however, removes these stressors. Learning outside of a traditional classroom setting can help reduce some of the stress you may feel, and you can work towards your goals all on your own. Number 3, learning alone can help improve cognitive function. While classroom settings often require learners to spend lots of time memorizing information and following instructions, studying a language on your own requires you to problem solve so that you can self-teach and hit your goals. You'll also need to be strict with yourself and stick to a regular study schedule. So yes, in some ways, learning a language on your own can be more challenging than learning in a traditional classroom setting. But teaching yourself a language pays dividends throughout life. In addition to learning a language, you'll also learn time management and problem-solving skills. These are skills that will aid you when social and professional opportunities arise. So, how do you actually learn a language on your own? Number 1. Access our huge collection of audio and video lessons. Ideally, you want audio and/or video lessons that teach vocabulary, grammar, and provide actual conversations and dialogue in your target language to help you with real pronunciation. We have hundreds of hours of HD audio and video lessons on our website, created by professional teachers and actors to help you achieve perfect pronunciation. Plus, all lessons can be accessed 24/7 via any device with internet access. Number 2. Learning paths with courses based upon your exact needs and goals. Simply tell us your goals and we will identify the best courses and study plan to help you reach them in the shortest time possible. Even though you are technically learning a language on your own, our team is always here to help and make sure you reach your goals fast. Number 3. Use advanced learning tools. When you have the right tools and learning resources, it's actually easy to teach yourself a language. Over the last 10 years, we've developed, tested, and refined more than 20 advanced learning tools. These tools aim to boost retention and reduce learning time. Eliminate stress and start learning at your own pace, in bed, your car, or wherever you have a few spare minutes. Our learning resources and tools are designed to help you get to the next level in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free lifetime account. So if you want to learn language anytime, anywhere, sign up for a free lifetime account by clicking the link in the description. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds. Click the link in the description and start learning right away. I'll see you there. Bye! Want to master grammar so you can speak properly, express yourself better, and understand more? In this video, I'll show you how to master grammar with our lessons and learning program. Let's begin. Number 1. Listen to the lesson conversations and explanations. In every lesson, you learn a conversation. Then, our teachers break down every word and grammar rule. So you're actually learning grammar rules in the context of conversations, and you can easily see how they're used. Once you're done, review the conversation again and again to remember what you've learned. Number 2. Read the bonus explanations and tutorials. With the lesson notes, you get extra grammar explanations and examples that are not presented in the lesson. After you're done with the lesson, read the lesson notes for extra review. You can even save them as PDFs so that you can access them anytime. Number 3. Leave a comment on the lesson. Once you've learned a grammar point, be sure to use it. Leave a comment in the comments section. Write some example sentences for practice. Our teachers will review your comment and give you feedback. Number 4. Unlock even more grammar lessons. If you want to find all of the grammar lessons available, visit our lesson library. Under Category, choose Grammar. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons dedicated to helping you learn and master sentence patterns and grammar points. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Have you always wanted to learn a new language? You probably have your own reason for wanting to learn, but there are huge benefits to being bilingual that you might not know about. In this video, I'll introduce a few of them. Here are some reasons why you should learn a new language. Number 1. You become smarter. Studies show that learning a new language improves your focus and memory. It improves your decision-making. You score higher on intelligence tests, and you're less likely to be swayed by propaganda. Number 2. You make more friends. Because you get to communicate with more people, you can meet more people and make more friends. This will help you get more opportunities, like jobs. Number 3. Find love. The more people you meet, the more opportunities you have of finding that special someone. Number 4. You can travel with ease. simply because you can express yourself confidently in another language. Catching a cab, ordering food, and getting around will never be a problem. Number 5, you're more open-minded and feel more empathy. Because a new language puts you in another culture's shoes. When you can speak in another language, you see the world the way that the native speakers do. In fact, when some bilinguals switch from one language to another, they also switch personalities and express themselves differently. For example, people tend to feel more direct and assertive when speaking English, and more polite when speaking Japanese. So this allows you to understand others' worldviews and connect with people on a deeper level. Number 6, you delay the mental effects of aging by 4 or 5 years. Learning and mastering another language sharpens your brain and increases the amount of gray matter, which helps delay dementia. So if you're ready to finally learn and master a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! When learning a new language, we sometimes have a hard time with things like procrastination, discouragement, or failure. But don't panic. With a good strategy, you'll be able to overcome these difficulties. Are you ready to discover the 4 habits of successful learners? Number 1, optimize your time. When learning a language, it's important to dedicate time to your studies regularly, even if sometimes it's difficult. You're busy with school, work, family, or friends, but you can spread out your learning throughout the day. Study whenever you have small gaps of time in your busy schedule. This can be when you're on the metro, on your lunch break, or while you're exercising. Our podcast learning format fits perfectly into your tight schedule. Number 2, consistency with your chosen method. There are a lot of options when it comes to courses and learning materials. Switching from one method to another can confuse you and disrupt your progress. Focusing on one learning method will make a difference. Our method has been created and optimized by real teachers, so you can stick to it with confidence. Number 3, use your language background. Many languages share some commonalities. You can find words that look or sound similar, or even share the same grammar structure. A little bit of language background will give you an edge while learning. Number 4, study continuously. People are excited when they start learning a new language. The enthusiasm usually lasts until the first roadblock. This can lead to discouragement and procrastination. But don't burn yourself out. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to learn it all at once. Break things down into more digestible chunks. Learning step by step might feel slow, but it's an efficient way to learn a language. With patience, motivation, and good resources, you'll master the language. Remember, you can't learn a language overnight, but with motivation and these daily lessons, you'll be on the road to fluency. Give it a try now. Sign up for your account. Just click the link in the description. If you're learning a new language, there will be times when you'll struggle with the lesson, when you won't fully understand what you've learned, when you'll be in a rut, or when you just won't feel like you're making any progress. And that's totally normal. In this video, you'll learn what to do if you're not learning and how to overcome language learning struggles. Let's begin. Number 1, understand the mindset of a successful learner. Some learners are more successful than others. A key difference between successful learners and less successful learners is in the way they approach problems. Some learners rely completely on a learning program. If there's a grammar rule or word they don't understand, they get frustrated and blame the program. They don't look for solutions. Successful learners approach problems a little differently. If they encounter a problem, they look for a solution or ask for help instead of getting frustrated. You may feel frustrated at times, especially if you're a beginner, but how you choose to react will make all the difference. Number 2, set small, measurable, realistic goals with a deadline. Most learners fail because they set big, vague goals, like, I want to be fluent. When they realize they have no idea how to do that, they lose motivation and quit. The solution to this? Set small, measurable, realistic goals with a deadline. For example, finish 10 audio lessons by the end of this week. Learn 20 words by the end of this week. Speak 1 minute of conversation by the end of this month. listen to lessons for just 5 minutes a day, every day this month. Now your goals are small and realistic enough to accomplish. They're specific and measurable, so you know when you reach them, and the deadline gives you a finish line. For example, either you learned all 20 words by Friday or you didn't. When you reach your goal, you gain a ton of confidence. This improves your chances of reaching your next goal because you've had experience reaching a goal and you understand the things you need to do to be successful. Number 3, read along with the lesson notes and lesson transcripts. Now, what if you're doing a lesson but you can't catch a word? Take advantage of the lesson notes and lesson transcripts and read along with the lesson. The lesson notes give you in-depth grammar and vocabulary explanations that are not available in the lesson. And the lesson notes give you the word-for-word transcript of everything said in the lesson. So if you want to pick up every word, read the transcript. Number 4, review, because repetition is the mother of all learning. If you're struggling with a particular word, grammar rule, or lesson, be sure to repeat and review it a few times. And then, come back a few days later and review it again. This same principle is used in our spaced repetition flashcards. The system quizzes you on words, then re-quizzes you in 3 days, then in 6 days, and so on, until the word gets embedded in your long-term memory. Some things you can do right now are download the lesson and lesson notes, save the words to your word bank, or even write down the words or grammar rules. Then come back to review them later. Number 5, reach out to our teachers and ask questions. If you're a Premium Plus member, you can easily get in touch with your teacher and get all of your points of confusion cleared up. Or you can always leave a comment on our lessons, and our teachers will get back to you. Remember, you're not alone. If you're struggling with a lesson, you can always get in touch with us. Number 6, take a break and go do something else. Another thing you can do is take a break and do something else that doesn't require much thinking. There's a reason our best ideas come while in the shower or while taking a walk. While you're on a break, your brain is more relaxed and starts making connections that you couldn't see when you were focused and stressed out. It's also why coming back to review things with a fresh mind can help you better understand the lessons you've taken. Number 7, downgrade your learning routine. If you're studying for 30 minutes a day and find yourself overwhelmed, or if you suddenly find yourself busy, the best thing to do is to reduce your study routine to something easier and more manageable. If you've been learning 30 minutes a day, drop down to 10 or 15 minutes. Even 5 minutes is good enough because language learning success comes with consistency. Quitting and coming back every 3 months won't work. This brings us to our next point. Number 8, remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Think about it. You can't cram for 5 hours and expect to remember everything you've studied. So just like with a marathon, it's okay to go slow and at your own pace, even if you're learning for just 5 minutes a day. Similarly, if you're having trouble understanding a grammar point or a lesson, don't let it bring you down. Learning a language is a marathon, a long-term game. The little points of confusion you have now are just small obstacles, and you'll fully understand them with time. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! If you're tired of knowing and speaking the language at a basic level and want to express yourself fluently just like native speakers, then you'll need to learn grammar. The problem? It can be tricky to learn. But don't worry. In this guide, you'll discover how to learn and master grammar with the Grammar Bank. 1. Where to get all of the grammar explanations you'll ever need. 2. The best way to learn grammar that's right for your level. And 3. How to expose yourself to real examples until the rules become natural to you with a study tool called the Grammar Bank inside of our learning program. But first, if you don't yet have access to our program, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description. First, what is the Grammar Bank? The Grammar Bank is like a grammar dictionary, except online. It's a database of the must-know grammar rules and explanations that makes it easy to look up specific rules and learn them. Look for it in the top menu of our site. 2. how do you learn grammar with it? The best way to learn grammar is not to just study rules, but to learn in context and hear the grammar used in real life. And that's exactly how you learn with our lessons. You learn a quick conversation and hear how the grammar rules are used within that conversation. 3. What if you come across grammar that you're not familiar with? Or what if you want to review a specific rule without going back to redo a lesson? That's where the Grammar Bank comes in. You can look up grammar rules and get the explanations, examples, and links to lessons where we cover these rules. You can also sort grammar by learning level. So if you're an absolute beginner and want to make sure you know all of the absolute beginner grammar rules, you can do just that with the Grammar Bank. You can also sort the rules by spelling, category, and lesson series. And if you want to get used to the grammar patterns so that you can use them in conversation and become fluent, the best way is to expose yourself to examples as much as possible. Grammar is hard at first, but gets easy once you get used to it with enough exposure. Be sure to access the related lessons inside the Grammar Bank and listen to the native conversations that use the rule as much as possible. So, if you want to become fluent and speak perfectly, you'll need grammar. Take advantage of the Grammar Bank inside of our learning program. But if you don't yet have access, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to sign up. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hindi ebook before it's gone.